Hi, I'm Quinn.
Hi, I'm Bailey.
And we are here to tell you why Americans celebrate Independence Day. In the 1500s, Europeans began arriving in North America. The British king began establishing colonies in America in the early 1600s. In 1606, King James first began colonizing the American coast. In 1607, the first British settlers established Jamestown. In 1620, the Mayflower ship carried 100 pilgrims to what is now Massachusetts. By the 1700s, most of the settlements had formed into 13 British colonies. There are a lot of reasons why colonists got mad at Britain. Check out the Declaration of Independence.
Here are a few reasons.
The French and the Indian War, also known as the 7 Years' War, cost Britain a lot of money. King George II argued that since the French and the Indian War benefited the colonists, they should be taxed to help pay for the cost of the war.
The Sugar Act. Starting with the Sugar Act in 1764, which imposed new costs on sugar and goods. The British government began to tighten its hold over the colonies. Passage of the Stamp Act. In 1765, Britain passed the Stamp Act to pay for the British troops who stayed in the colonies after the war. The Stamp Act put taxes on legal documents, newspapers, even playing cards. This is the first direct tax on the colonists. Colonists were super mad. The colonists got Britain to stop the stamp in 1766. This action also gave the colonists more confidence to fight Britain. A spirit of independence have grown. Boston Massacre. British troops were faced with resistance when a patriot mob of colonists began throwing snowballs, stones, and sticks at them. British troops shot at the crowd and killing some real colonists. It was called the Boston Massacre in 1770, or the fifth spread in the colonies and made them mad.
Boston Tea Party. In 1773,
Britain enacted the Tea Act, taxing tea to help pay for the East India Company. The East India Company were allowed to have a monopoly on the importation and sale of tea in the colonies.
This made colonists mad. They loved their tea. Colonists known as the Sons of Liberty, disguised as Native Americans, boarded East India Company ships and dumped tea overboard. This made Britain really mad at the colonists.
Things got really tense. The British Parliament passed a series of laws. The British troops closed the port of Boston.
The Quartering Act. The Britain passed the Quartering Act to allow British troops to stay houses and buildings in towns, while it didn't force the colonists to have troops in their own homes. They had to pay for the expense of housing and feeding the soldiers. Shot heard round the world. In 1775, the conflict came to a head. British soldiers were marching to Lexington, where colonial patriots Sam Adams and John Hancock, and then go to Concord to destroy military supplies. But American spies got wind of the plan, and with the help of Paul Revere, militia were alerted of the British invasion before the battles of Lexington and Concord, and the first shots of Revolutionary War were fired. Shot heard round the world was the start of American Revolution. The British discovered that the colonists were tough and fearsome foes. The creation of the United States has began. The Second Continental Congress came together at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, 1776, in a Congress debated declaring America's independence from Britain. In June 1776, the Congress appointed 5 people to the draft of Declaration of Independence. In July 1776, the Congress approved the Declaration of Independence written by Thomas Jefferson. It was signed by 56 people. Officially, the Continental Congress declared its freedom from Britain on July 2nd, 1776. But July 4th is when the Declaration was adopted. After voting on independence, Congress needed to finalize a document explaining the move to the public, and it took 2 days for the Congress to agree on the edits. Declaration was then sent to a printer to make 200 copies to share across the 13 colonies.
General George Washington was commander of the Continental Army. Had the Declaration of Independence read to his army on the July 9th. In the weeks following the Declaration's vote, there were public readings of the document where colonists cheered and celebrated across the colonies. Now you know the story of the Americans' independence. Happy Independence Day! Bye!
Bye!
Thank you, Billy.
What? Oh, there we go. Give me more money.
There we go.
So I do this. Do this. It's like, more taxes, more taxes. More taxes, more taxes. No, more taxes, more taxes.